Hi guys! So welcome back. This is my first video from my now set up studio and I couldn't be happier. I used to have to film in my living room in the old house, which meant I'd have to set all the equipment up, set the lighting up, clear my husband and my dogs out of their house, record, and it just got a little bit of a nightmare. Now I've got a lovely little setup, which means regular content. I've got no excuses now. I just need to stick a bit of slap on my face and jump right on in. So what this means is less time flapping and faffing and more time filming, recording and talking. So as for the royal news, we have got to talk about two very different subjects. One of them is beautiful and classy. The other one is cheap and outdated. No, I'm not just talking about the two women, or am I actually? No, I'm actually talking about roses and rosé. Two very different subjects, two very different women. So let's start with yesterday. The Princess of Wales paid a visit to Colchester Hospital in Essex to meet with patients and medical staff to get down and dirty and do some gardening. A donation of 50 Catherine roses has been made to the hospital's wellbeing garden. Who better to plant a few of those than the princess it was named after? Proceeds from the sales of the pinky peach coloured roses goes to the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity. Now I've got a confession here. I might have had a few drinks the other night and I'm desperate. One of the things I want to grow is roses. I fell in love with the Catherine rose, so I went onto the Harkness website. Oh dear, £100 later, the husband is going to murder me when he finds out. I have ordered all four of these because they're my favourite colours, the peaches and the whites and the pinks. So I'm going to have my own Harkness rose collection and of course a Catherine rose bush. So watch this space. But let's get back to the royal news. The garden offers a relaxing and restorative place for the staff and patients and visitors to spend time just taking in the beauty and the wonder of nature. They can also take part in activities such as gardening, and it's the ideal way if you are visiting someone in hospital, if you're in there receiving treatment, doing a spot of gardening, or just sitting outside with a drink and taking in a view of all of the beautiful flowers is the perfect way to take your mind off of whatever it is that you are at the hospital for, and including staff who can also come outside and have a relax when they're on their breaks. Now, Harkness Roses in Kensington Palace are set to donate 500 roses to the community gardens across the UK this summer. Catherine shared with the hospital patients in a candid chat about the challenging journey that she has been on and the life-changing experiences that it is for many people that have been affected by cancer, either directly or through watching loved ones, friends, neighbours. I said on the Dan Wootton show that there's very few of us that get through our lifetime these days without knowing somebody that is affected by the disease. And it's so wonderful to see Catherine talking about her experiences so openly, that thought of hope for the people that are sitting there maybe scared of going through cancer or perhaps going through chemotherapy or any other sort of treatment. They can see Catherine sitting in front of them going, hey, I had the disease, it's not great, I had good days, I still have good days, I still have bad days, but I'm here and I fought it and you will be able to fight it as well. And I think that is something very positive that she brings to all of the patients that she meets under these circumstances. Catherine highlighted the importance of ongoing support that is sometimes overlooked. She said that after treatment, you are not necessarily with the medical team any longer, but you are not able to function normally at home as you once used to. There is a lot of pressure of having to put on a brave face where everybody expects you to be better, but that's not the case at all. There is an expectation that you are expected to crack on and to get back to normal, but you need to find out what the new normal is. Now, obviously, Catherine is speaking from the viewpoint of someone who is in remission herself, and she is still, for that very reason, in recovery from not just the disease but also the treatment. She is sharing her experiences and listening to others and not making it about herself, or that her journey is somehow more significant or sorrowful than what anyone else is experiencing. She is understanding, she is compassionate, she is positive, and she is uplifting by using her experiences to help connect with others. I think that she's a very special and kind-hearted woman, and it shows in every single engagement that she does, because it's the way that she talks to people but also listens to others. She is the polar opposite to the one that likes to play princess in her little dress-up box over in Montecito, who, no matter the subject point, can always bring it back round to her and how she is somehow a victim. There has been another photograph released of Meghan laughing manically at nothing in the garden. But the reason why she's picked this really old photograph that belonged to the People magazine photo shoot that she did with her long-term friend and photographer, Jake Rosenberg, is because Meghan is still gloating over the fact that she has sold out of her rosé wine and her other products for her second as ever launch. Meghan needs a photograph to bask in all of her glory. Never mind the fact that of course it's sold out, because she knows and we know that she barely had any stock. She kept minimal numbers, so of course it sells out quickly. And when it came to the rosé wine, she was only selling them in batches of 3, which came in at like $90 or £64. It's not going to take too long before, of course, she has cleared out her very limited inventory. Now, obviously, this is my opinion, but I find it rather ridiculous that, as we know, Meghan is not carefully curating these packages. She is not lovingly making them herself in her kitchen. She's probably never even stepped foot in the factory, which is 2,000 miles away in Illinois. So the fact is that these are being mass manufactured for other companies as well. They just stick the other companies' labels on, and in this case, they're sticking on as ever. Meghan gets to sell the products, pretend that she actually cares about the products, and then sells them, obviously, Meghan markup at a huge profit to herself. But this is where I say that she's scamming everybody, because how can her stuff sell out when it's being manufactured in other factories that sell the same stuff with other labels on to other companies? All of the Bridgerton brand would have the same problem. Meghan is not selling out. She is trying to make herself look successful by saying, hey, look guys, I've sold out everything again. She might have only had 10 jams and 10 jars of honey. The point is, she can then brag that she's sold out. It's a game that she did the first time round, and she's done it again the second time round. And this is just terrible business strategy, because why are people going to want to give their money and not know if the product's even going to turn up? Because she has also allowed her products to be oversold again, owing lots of people refunds. And guess what? She's not even refunding people the shipping costs. You can see here from Royal Daily Tea's post that, shockingly, despite the fact that she's oversold the product, which means she didn't actually have it in inventory, she's not refunding people for the shipping costs. So even though she's never sent it out to these people, she's keeping, in this instance, $7 worth of shipping costs back. Now that in itself is a scandal. And even her fan base that think, oh, I could be making a quick buck here and selling her stuff on eBay, because there's a few of them doing that. Why would they then part with their hard-earned money if they're not even sure if they're going to receive the products at all? Meghan is going to damage even her fan base buying her stuff. Meghan is a fake. She is a phony. Oh gosh, I work so hard. No, Meghan, no you don't. Other people work hard. Meghan likes to bring joy to herself by faking this really curated life. Instagram 90s circa though. I mean, Meghan really does seem like she's living 20 years ago. But Meghan has got no interest in making her business a success, making her podcast a success, making 40 by 40 and the book and everything else that she's done a success. She just wants to look successful so she can pick up the awards, the accolades, get lots of praise and do lots of photo shoots. Meghan wants something for nothing. She is exactly what Bill Simmons said. She is a grifter through and through. Now, you know that I can generally poke fun at a lot of the stuff that Meghan does because, well, you just can't take her seriously, so what else can you do? She is the comedy script that writes itself. But the one thing I can't laugh at, and I find it really insensitive and distasteful, is the fact that she did launch her alcohol line on Diana's birthday. I know why she did it. She's done it so it ensures every single year on Diana's birthday, Meghan can get herself in the newspapers and headlines, no doubt bragging about, oh yes, this is when I launched my highly successful rosé wine business. I mean, she'll be lucky if she gets a year out of that one, I'm certain of it. But it's the fact that she can now appear with some sort of validity on Princess Diana's birthday. Of course, she'll never admit that. This is just to do with her success. But it's almost obsessional with her trying to, I don't know, is she emulating Diana? Does she think she's Diana? She's convinced Harry that she's Princess Diana's reincarnation. But it's, again, as I said, it's in pretty poor taste to launch your alcohol line on your mother-in-law's birthday, who was killed by a drink driver. Now, that being said, I don't wish to end today's video on Meghan for that very reason, because on Diana's birthday, we had Prince William and Homewards advocate, author, podcaster, and Dragon's Den star Stephen Bartlett. They paid a visit to Sheffield to mark the 2-year anniversary of Homewards, which is the wonderful Royal Foundation's initiative to end homelessness in the UK. And it was inspired by his mother, the late Princess Diana, who had introduced a very young Prince William and Harry to many people who found themselves in the unfortunate situation of being homeless. It was his mother's compassion that inspired his lifelong commitment into helping others and using his incredible platform and position to change people's lives for the better. A lot of people working with Homewards have experienced homelessness themselves. Prince William listens to those that have had these experiences. He does it to understand more on how he can actually make real changes, not only that work, but also last. This is another reason why I love what Prince William is doing. He's trying very hard to change the stigma on homelessness. Lots of people, young and old, find themselves in that situation, and in many cases, which hasn't been helped over the last few years of financial strain due to the pandemic, job losses, terrible governments, but there is also a lot of people out there that are paycheck to paycheck, and all it takes is one paycheck and you could find yourself in the unfortunate situation. What Prince William is doing is listening to those people, bringing them into it as well, and I think that's incredibly important for the ongoing development of trying to end homelessness in the UK. Prince William is doing something different to what MPs and the governments do. After the Homewards anniversary gathering, the Prince also paid a visit to Meadowhead Secondary School and Sixth Form, who are taking part in a project to intervene early before homelessness is the only option left. He attended a Year 9 workshop led by Roundabout, which is a local youth homelessness charity. The Prince's arrival at the school was met by so much joy from the children. Needless to say, he was a huge hit. The head teacher said after his departure that it was amazing how much time he spent greeting as many as the students as he could, and it meant so much to them. You only need to look at the photographs to see that they genuinely enjoyed their experience meeting with the future king. It would seem no matter the age of the audience, everybody likes Prince William, but I think a lot of that is because people can see that he is a genuine person. He wants to bring around change for the better. Prince William is trying very, very hard to change people's lives. He doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk, and he is in an incredible position where he can actually do something that is going to make a difference because he's not tied up with political constraints. And I also thought that would be a much nicer way to end the video rather than talking about the sprag of Montecito. So guys, I will be back with you in a few days. As many of you know, I have now got to drive across country and I will be going to Lady C's ball on Saturday. So I will be sharing some photographs on the community page, and I will of course then be talking to you guys when I am back from Monday. And Monday evening, don't forget, tune in to the live and hopefully everything will go well and I can talk to you guys for a good 45 minutes to an hour. We can catch up, we can talk about whatever you like. So come along and I will see you then. It's going to be 7 8:30 p.m. UK time. You will need to check with your own country's conversion time because, as you guys probably remember, I always seem to get that wrong. So I'm just going to throw that one over into your court to Google at what time that will be in your country, and I will see you guys soon. Take care for now. Bye.